Sweet and cozy night, and you are here by my side. Bells are ringing and the time is right to celebrate this Christmas. We're gonna have some fun. Merry Christmas to everyone. So everybody gather round and sing with me. Yeah, it's Christmas, joyful Christmas. Hang out Christmas lights. Let's celebrate tonight. Fairy lights, they shine so bright. We share this very special night. Close your eyes, make all your dreams come true. Oh, what a joyful Christmas. We're gonna have some fun. Merry Christmas to everyone. Now everybody gather round and sing with me. Well, it's Christmas, very joyful Christmas. Hang out Christmas light. Ooh, let's celebrate tonight. If you feel alone, don't hide.
Oh, I guess we're on. It's the Christmas season, everybody. What's up, Lowndes County? Welcome to our weekly celebration of the Lowndes community. Whether you're a Viking, well, I've said this before, whether you're a Viking, Wildcat, Valiant, General, Trojan, Rebel, whatever you are, this season is for all of you as we celebrate the birth of Jesus. Hope you guys take that seriously instead of just giving in to the commercialism, which is still kind of fun, gotta admit. But hope that you remember the reason for why we celebrate the season. So Merry Christmas to everyone and welcome to the Viking Nation Live. I'm your host, Larry Godwin. Joining me tonight on our super fan panel is Armand Rashad. We're expecting Chase Garnto, although he's been MIA lately. Armand, we're probably going to call the sheriff's office, put out an APB, BOLO, whatever you call it nowadays. We might have to start treating Chase as a guest caller now. No, I'm just kidding, Chase. Wherever you're at, brother, I hope everything's all right. So we're expecting some fun tonight from our super fan panel. We'll also have a guest tonight that many of you are familiar with, TCC super fan Cole Moore. So Cole's going to show up on, I'm going to tell you, Cole's going to talk some trash. Cole is no stranger to our audience by now. Sometimes he loves Lowndes, sometimes he doesn't. You never know what Cole you're going to get. But I wanted him on tonight just to, allow him to celebrate his team. His team TCC is going to play for a state championship this coming week. I think it's Tuesday night. So congratulations to the area teams that are still in the playoffs, looking for a state championship. That's going to be played Monday through Wednesday of next week, which seems kind of odd to play it Monday through Wednesday. But if you want to play in the Dome at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that's basically what you're going to have to deal with, right? So anyway, Cole's going to jump on board a little bit later on tonight. So before we get things cranked up fully, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. Thank you so much to Pepsi of Valdosta for producing some great drinks for us to enjoy all year round, not just in the Christmas season. Thank you so much for Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy, Mountain Dew Spark, and the new Starry Lemon and Lime drink. Thank you so much to Pepsi of Valdosta. Thank you to Kyle Conger at White Oak Investment. I tell you guys this every week. Armand, the market's up. It was great yesterday. No, actually, a couple days ago. Then it came down yesterday. Now it's back up today. In these turbulent times, you need a good guy to talk to, or a gal to talk to about some great financial advice. Kyle Conger could be that guy for you. So if you don't have anybody that you're satisfied with, or if you don't have anybody, period, give Kyle a call at White Oak Investment, 229-850-8848. Thank you so much, Kyle, for another year of sponsorship. Thank you to my buddy, Tim Neesmith, Stickman. He's got a company called A Shade of Perfection where he produces custom shades and blinds to make your house beautiful. If you got a need for that service, check him out, 229-251-3479, or on his website, ashadeofperfection.com. Thank you so much to Tim Neesmith. Thank you to these guys, the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. These are your certified headache medicine specialists. If you don't know them by now, they are Josh Batson and Justin Haskin. They offer a variety of migraine and back pain treatments. You know, it's the holidays. So sometimes you get in a bad mood. Sometimes you suffer from a migraine for all the financial burdens and stress and presents and that kind of stuff. So if that describes you, give these guys a call because they are your headache certified medicine specialist. Thank you to Chandler Kudik for continuing to make our pools beautiful all around South Georgia and North Florida. If you have a need for his service at AquaWorks Pool Company, give Chandler a call. He'll do you right, 229-415-0752. And if you are looking for a job, AquaWorks Pool Company is growing. They are looking to hire a cleaning technician. So give Chandler a call if you need a service or if you're looking for a job, 229-415-0752. Thank you to these guys, Tony Green and Trey Hatcher at Imperial Auto Sales. If you have the need for a car, you're going to buy your loved one, significant other, your son, your daughter, your mama, your dad, anybody a car? Give these guys a call. They can hook you up. Imperial Auto Sales. They've got two great locations to help you out. One's on North Ashley Street. The other one's 1600 Bay Tree Road. Whichever location you go to, you are going to get impeccable service. These guys, Imperial Auto Sales. And then finally, thank you to Jason Castleberry. He owns a company called Case Tree Services. If you have the need to clear your land or just cut down a tree or two because it's giving you problems, give Jason a call. He specializes in tree cutting and removal. And if you mention this ad, you get free stump grinding with any tree removal. Thank you so much to Jason and all the other sponsors. Hope to have these guys back for next year. So we got a pretty laid back show tonight. So I said, joining me on the panel is going to be Chase and Armand. We'll have Cole as a special guest tonight. A little later on, we're expecting him to bounce on in the last half of the hour. We're hoping he can. We had him scheduled, and he told me that something's come up last minute, but he still expects to be on. So before that we get into all that, let me go ahead and bring on Armand. Armand, Merry Christmas, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Merry Christmas. Just got to say, beverages a little colder.
Hold up that drink. Hold up that cup, man. Look at how beautiful that cup is. A customized the Viking Nation steel tumbler. Check that out. Man, that is beautiful.
Drinks stay a little colder. If you got coffee, it stays a little hotter, a little longer. So I appreciate you for this one here. Let me just
Yeah, listen, I appreciate all that you and Chase did to help us out this year, and that was the least that I could do is to get you guys those tumblers. So hopefully, we're going to be producing another batch in the coming year. I don't know exactly when, but we're going to include those as part of the giveaway on the show on Thursday night. So you guys, we got some great plans coming into this new year. I'm telling you, man. Tell you. So anyway, we'll re-kickstart. Is that a word? We'll kickstart or restart, whatever the word is, in the new year. The giveaways with some new prizes, that kind of stuff. The t-shirts are coming back, but we're looking to add to the treasure chest, if you will. So let's go ahead and before we get into the football talk, let's go ahead and talk about what's happening around the nation. Okay, so we got a couple of things that's going on, Armand. First of all, I don't know if we covered this a couple of weeks ago, but there's been so much that's been happening around Lowndes County schools, Lowndes County athletics, that kind of stuff. I don't know if we, I guess I said congratulations to the new superintendent of Lowndes County schools, and that's Sandra Wilcher. So she's been named the solo finalist. So she's not official yet. I think her official vote is going to be next week, but she's been named the final finalist. Okay, so she's going to be the superintendent, barring any type of crazy nonsense that happens, whatever. So I don't expect anything like that to happen. So congratulations, Sandra Wilcher. I know that she's been the interim superintendent, Armand, for the last several months. Apparently, she's done a great job. She's impressed the Board of Education, and now she's going to be the permanent superintendent. She's fairly young, too, so she's going to be around for a while. Now, why is this important? Why am I bringing this up on this particular show tonight? Oh, I see. Finally, joining us in the background, Chase, what in the world, man? You cooking another big batch of cornbread or something?
Nah, man. The Christmas tree lighting was in the air tonight.
I got you. Well, I'm glad that look at that great looking cup. Look at that. Yeah, look at both of you got customized cup. Listen, I'm kind of jealous because I didn't even get myself one of those cups. I forgot to order one for me. So anyway, regardless, Chase, we were congratulating Sandra Wilcher for being named the solo finalist for the superintendent job at Lowndes County Schools. And that's important for us to talk about briefly because you guys have heard me get on my soapbox about the four pillars of success and that kind of stuff. And the first and probably the most important is all buy-in, complete support from your administration, from the top down, not just the AD, but the superintendent as well. We saw a couple of years ago what happens when the superintendent's not fully on board with the head coach, right? We saw that firsthand. So the superintendent,
hat, right? That would be
absolutely. Yeah. Where is my cowboy hat, man?
Oh. No. Oh Lord.
Chase, I gotta do it. I'm blaming Armand. So
well, if that's the case, I'll be right back.
Anyway, we saw what happened a couple of, what did he say?
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay to see what he said. So anyway, we saw what happened, Chase, a couple of years ago when the administration and the football staff did not see eye to eye, right?
Oh yeah.
So Sandra is a big sports fan. Yes. So she's going to be completely supportive of the football program. I don't see any step down or let up from administration support. So from an athletic standpoint, I welcome that wholeheartedly. So other things that are happening around the nation. We got to say congratulations once again to Ryan Page, not just for winning.
In that case.
I love it. Chase, you got to get you a cowboy hat.
I guess so, man.
We got to make it complete.
I might have to get me a dark one though. I'm gonna have to look more like Rip.
Now, that was dang funny, Armand. That was hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
that was freaking hilarious.
I like it.
Okay. All right, so we got to say congratulations once again to Ryan Page, not just for winning the state championship last year, but for being named the Georgia Coach of the Year recently. So hats off to Ryan Page. He's doing some really good stuff with the baseball program. I also want to say congratulations to all the senior Lowndes wrestlers that just recently had senior night a couple nights ago So I want to go ahead and name these guys by name. This is when I'm made aware of seniors that's leaving the program, having a senior night. I always like to give them a shout out by name on the program. So this is no different. Congratulations to the seniors. Grant Lasky, Dallas Edwards, John Browning, Jordan Oladokin. Jordan, I hope I said your name correctly. If I did not, please forgive me. Caleb Udy, Pearson Lane, Ethan Robinette, Caden Lockhart. Again, that's Grant Lasky, Dallas Edwards, John Browning, Jordan Oladokin, Caleb Udy, Pearson Lane, Ethan Robinette, and Caden Lockhart. So congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for giving us 4 outstanding years. To a round of applause for all these young men. There you go. There you go. All right, Lowndes basketball. Let me give you a quick update. The boys basketball off to a kind of a rough start, 3-4 on the season. Now, in their defense, Coach was on the program about a month ago, and he said, "Guys, this is going to be an up and down year, basically, because he graduated a lot of talent last year, and this is a younger squad, smaller squad than what he's used to. So they're going to take their lumps, especially early in the season in the non-region part of the schedule. Hopefully, these tough games that they're playing are going to get them prepared for their region schedule coming up pretty soon. So they're currently 3-4. Hopefully, they get improved a little bit. Now they've lost a couple of those losses. Had 4 losses. A couple of those losses have been by pretty close scores. So I think they're on cusp of turning the corner. The girls are off to a hot start, 6-0. So congratulations to Antonia Tukes. And we need to have Coach Tukes on the program. I haven't had her on the program yet. So congratulations to the Lowndes Vikings basketball team.
Absolutely.
Now, guys, we got to talk about all the fellas that were named to the all-region 1-7A team. Now, for all the naysayers out there that said that we didn't have talent this year, that wasn't true. Look at all these names. First team offense, Shakari Smoke Fleming, running back. DJ Jones, offensive line. Jalen Carter, wide receiver. Carson Page, punter. Second team offense, Marvis Parrish, quarterback. Aline Brown, that's Road Dog, running back. Hayden Williams, offensive lineman. Aiden Sifa, wide receiver. First team defense, O'Shea Brooks, defensive line. Coleman Lewis, linebacker. Jaden Stallworth, outside linebacker. Marlon Evans, safety. Second team defense, Andres Contreras, defensive line. Cameron Rigdon, outside linebacker. Anthony Carter, cornerback. KJ Massey, safety. Honorable mentions are Grant Lasky at tight end. Aiden Andrews, kicker. Weston Edwards, long snapper. We had a pretty talented team, and a lot of this talent is returning for next year. I believe on the offensive side of the football, I think we've got like 8 out of 11 returning. And on the defensive side of the ball, I think it's 7 out of 11 returning. So we're going to have a pretty experienced team next year, and I'm looking forward to it as well. So congratulations to these young men.
Also, congratulations to O'Shea Brooks. He committed to Lenore Ryan University. Yep. So congratulations to O'Shea.
Yeah, congratulations to Smoke, too. He committed to, I believe, Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys brought that up because on December 20th, not 7th, but December 20th is National Signing Day at 10 a.m. at the Lowndes campus at the Performing Arts Center. Okay. So all these guys, we're expecting 7, 9, maybe 10, but 7 to 9 around that area to be signing. Maybe more later on, but this is the earliest they could sign on December 20th. So congratulations to all these guys. Doggone it. We just celebrated someone that plays for Lenore Ryan. Who was that, guys? I cannot.
Dominique Marshall.
Yeah.
Dominique Marshall. That's right. That's exactly right. So I appreciate you checking my memory there. So he'll be joining Dominique Marshall on that team. Now, we've got some other fantastic college players still playing football. Thomas Davis having a really good year at Appalachian State. You know, you guys remember that he signed out of Miami coming out of Lowndes. He transferred, I think last year. Didn't he transfer last year to App
Yep.
State?
This is his first year at App State.
Yeah. You know, of course, everybody recognizes Michael Barrett having a fantastic season at Michigan. Going to be playing in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
Now their first round. We're going to see them in prime time because their first round opponent is Alabama. So we're going to
move on. We're going to move on past that discussion.
Oh, are you still salty about that, Chase?
Oh, I'm beyond salty.
Oh my gosh.
Salty was earlier in the week. Yeah, I'm beyond salty.
So Tavon Kyle transferred to Virginia this year, and he had a pretty good season. We had some other guys that were playing. I cannot remember all the guys that were playing this year. So congratulations on all those guys. Now, before we get into some are going to say a lively conversation. Some might deem it controversial. Some might deem it kind of goofy for us to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about our Christmas wish list for Lowndes football. So we kind of started this discussion last week, but ran out of time, right? And so I asked you guys to be thinking about, since it's the Christmas season and everybody's throwing out their Christmas wish list, let's do the same for Lowndes football. So, I'll just say it. What are the 4 things that you're wishing for Lowndes football? Don't answer that. We're gonna kind of lower the temperature first and have a little bit of good time by me asking you guys, what's your favorite Christmas movie? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh man, it's a tie.
Okay.
Is it A Christmas Story with the kid?
A Christmas Story. I love that story. You're going to shoot your eye out.
Yeah, that one and Friday After Next.
Friday after what?
Friday After Next, or Friday Part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
I'm not familiar with that Christmas movie.
Or Friday, you can say Home Alone is right there.
But, Home Alone. Would you guys consider Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Of course.
Sure. Absolutely.
It happens at Christmas. They attend a Christmas party in Nakatomi Tower, right?
Yeah.
But all heck breaks loose.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the moral of that story is this: never ever take your shoes off at a Christmas party.
Wow.
Cannot believe the dude spent the entire movie walking over glass, shooting bad guys, that kind of stuff with no shoes on. Right. Anyway, you guys mentioned A Christmas Story. One of my favorite scenes, and I don't mind poking fun of myself when it comes to this stuff. Everybody I think recognizes by now that I'm of Asian descent, half Asian. Right. So I can pick on my own kind about when it comes to this. One of my favorite scenes in that movie, A Christmas Story, is at the end of the movie when the dogs, take a chunk out of the Christmas turkey and it's inedible now. So the dad takes the family out to a Chinese restaurant, right? And so he cuts the head off of the duck and serves it to the family there, and then he's got his workers singing A Christmas Carol there, and they say it in the worst Asian accent ever. So anyway, it kind of stuck out to me. So anyway,
my favorite part of the movie is when they bring out the lamp, and he's like, "It's French, fragile." That's my favorite.
Listen, I actually have that shirt with the picture of that lamp.
Yeah,
that says it's a major award or something like that.
Yeah, I almost bought it. I almost bought that. They had it at Hot Topic a few years ago. When I was single, I almost bought it. Now I don't think my wife would allow me to put that up there.
See y'all like the Christmas story. See, I'm a big fan of Home Alone
Yeah.
and The Grinch.
The Grinch. Okay. Now, I never got into the Grinch because I
Man, I
just thought
love
that
The
was just
Grinch.
a weird story. Yeah. And when Jim Carrey came out with his live version of that, that was just really, really weird.
That's my
But anyway.
favorite version.
Okay. All right. So let's get on to this question. What's your wish list? The 4 things that you can wish for when it comes to Lowndes football. What are they? So Casey Harrell says, improve every week. 1, team leadership. That's a good one. 2, 3, success for the players. That's awesome. And 4, believe. Okay. That's what Casey's looking for. What you
All
looking
right,
for,
well,
Amar?
First off, let's get the silver lids back. Let's get the silver lids back.
Silver helmets.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's get back to that. Secondly, a 4-man front. Yeah, a 4-man front. Every play. 4-man, 4 down defense lineman, hands in the dirt, getting after the quarterback or creating havoc.
Love it.
Third, a simplified defense.
What do you mean?
So defenses are effective when it's simple. When you don't overcomplicate the scheme, when it's simple and you let them play fast and free.
Okay.
Defenses are good when it's like that. And fourth, just some type of identity on offense. Those are my 4 things.
Now, identity on offense can mean a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, elaborate on that one.
So, are we a running team? Are we a passing team?
Okay.
Whatever it's going to be, I just need us to have an identity. It don't matter what it is. If we're going to spread it out and throw it, like for instance, when we play Moultrie, we know for a fact they spreading it and tossing it around the yard. We go play Valdosta, we know they're trying to run it down your throat. Same thing with Camden. You know they're going to play strong defense and chew the clock. Just some type of offense that when Lowndes comes, this is what you can expect. That's all.
Yeah, I'll kind of second that. I want to see us be more balanced. That way you keep defenses on their heels because they never know what's coming.
Okay.
Offensively, I want more, and I'm a wide open offense type guy. I want to see more. I want to see more hurry up Oregon style offense. Back when Chip Kelly was there. I would love to see that kind of offense implemented. Wide open vertical passing attack, things like that on offense is what I'm looking for. Yeah, more of an identity, kind of like what the professor was talking about. Player development at every level. First string, second string, third string, it don't matter. Scout team, whatever. Player development's got to be a priority.
Yeah.
It's just got to be moving forward. And smash mouth, hard hitting football.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I always point to the old days of Florida State when Mickey Andrews was down there. I mean, they were some hard hitting suckers, and they didn't mind smacking you in the mouth. And I think, and I remember Lowndes being like that. For years, people come in and Lowndes just punch you in the mouth for 4 quarters.
Yep.
And they'd hit you every time you moved. And I think we got to get back to that on defense. I think we got to get some dogs out there that are more about we and less about me.
Yeah.
One of my Christmas wish lists? To get one of those nice cups that you guys have. Instead of one of these cheap looking plastic cups.
You know where they make them at, so.
Yeah, I mean, man, y'all got to check these things out, man. Look at that.
I mean,
man, look at that.
That is a sharp cup. Well, listen.
It got the Viking head on the other one.
when I designed it, and they got the cup designer on the screen, when I put the words on there and your name, and I'm sure you guys were thinking to yourselves, what's he up to when I asked you to spell out your name? Because I did not want to screw that up. So when I put it on the screen, it looked pretty good, but when it actually came in, I opened it up, it's like, dang it, should I ordered one for myself? Doggone it.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things that we're going to do about those cups is we are going to order some of those in the new year and doing part of the giveaway. Now it's going to take a little bit longer because here's what I'm planning. Whoever wins one of these cups, and we're not going to do them often. Those are going to be special drawings, okay? Because those cups are expensive. So what we're going to do is whoever wins those drawings, we're going to put your name on that cup. It's going to be customized to you, right? So anyway, we're going to try to kind of up our game when it comes to cool things that we're going to do in the new year. Now, as far as the wish list goes, David Griffiths says, here's his for. Let the players be more verbal to coaches. David, I don't really know what that means.
I do.
Okay, y'all are going to have to explain that one to me. Play number 2. Play everybody. Now, I don't know if I can see why that would be a wish list. I don't know if since you've got 120, 130, 140 players, I don't know how feasible that one is, but I understand the sentiment. Number 3, recruiting better players. Did he just say that out loud? Recruiting better players. David, I don't know if we can do that in high school. I don't think we can. I don't think we can.
I think he means recruit the hallways.
Recruit what?
The hallways.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let's assume that's what he meant. Number 4, work on what you need, especially facing teams that throw run. Okay. That's interesting. David says, yep, Chase is right on. Yeah, because I'm sure school with 3,200 students minus about 450 band members, right? So, but you still got a bunch of kids, and I'm sure there's a bunch of big kids. I'm sure there's a bunch of tall, fast kids.
But football is one of those sports that, especially at the lower levels, you see a lot of kids shying away from. Parents aren't, pushing their kids to that because of health reasons. And to be honest, I'm be honest with you, got to be a little crazy to play this game, that sport that we love. So I get it, but it's just one of those things where you got those kids in the hallways, and you just got to be able to sell them a dream that, hey, this could pay for your education, no matter what level you go to. It could ultimately pay for your education and set you up.
Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, I was talking to Grant Lasky's dad a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, he was so thankful to, I think it was Jamie DuBose when he was here. He actually recruited Grant because Grant was one of those Lowndes. He's basically a Lowndes wrestler, okay, but he wasn't playing football at the time. And DuBose saw him, says, "Hey, why don't you come play football for me?" And that's so it goes to your point, goes to David Griffith's point. Got to get good, really good at recruiting. Nowadays, you can't just assume that kids are going to come out and play football, right? Because they're busy doing other things. So if you see a kid, big kid, tall kid, fast kid, come on out. And listen, that goes for anybody in our community. If you know of a Lowndes student that you think would be a good football player, put a bug in their ear. Go play for the Lowndes Vikings.
This is to the parents. If your kid is a 6'3" power forward, chances are he's not getting a scholarship on the next level. But there's a chance he can line up at defensive end and go get him a scholarship. So just something to think about, parents.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Find your place. If that first position's not for you, keep at it and find your place. Right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna piggyback off what he just said just a second, because let me say this: if your kid's playing basketball and he's a 6'3" power forward, don't take him out of basketball. Leave him in basketball, but point him, get him involved in football as well, because when college coaches call Adam Carter or Fred Mitchell and say, "Hey, tell me about this kid," one of the first few questions they're going to ask Coach Carter is, "What else does he do? What other sport does he play? Does he run track? Does he play baseball? Does he play basketball?" They no longer want one sport athletes because they're not well rounded. They're not. They all they know is football. That's all they do.
Absolutely. Now, Wilbur Pelfrey brings up an interesting point. He says, most of your top-notch athletes now are concentrating on just one sport, and that's true. But listen, it doesn't take a top-notch athlete to make a really, really good football player. Remember, one of my pillars is good athletes that are coachable. So it doesn't have to be an outstanding top-tier athlete. Chase, what's on your mind?
Okay, do we not consider Kylan Fox a top-notch athlete?
What is your point?
Wilbur Pelfrey said, top-notch football players only focus on one sport.
He said
Kylan
most.
Fox,
He said most. And that is true. Most top-notch. If you got a superstar basketball player and he thinks that's his future, he and his parents are probably not going to risk injury to come out and play football. But it happens. It happens every once in a while. But Wilbur's point, I think, is a good, valid point, and where he says most of your top-notch athletes. So,
but you can look to. Matter of fact, let's look at Georgia's roster. Ladd McConkey, great basketball player.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Oh man, defensive. Last year helped the guy from LSU. What's his name? Playing for the Eagles, which that's half of the team.
Oh, Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter,
And a different Jalen Carter.
Yeah. He was a great basketball player. Devontae Wyatt ran track and basketball. So the skills translates. All it does is get you better.
Sure.
For football. So
listen, I think offensive linemen and defensive linemen need to wrestle.
Dude, let me tell you, I tried wrestling for 1 week. I didn't make it past the conditioning phase.
Man, you talking about becoming a well-conditioned athlete that really builds core strength. Man, wrestling is a tough sport. It really is.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was like, man, I ain't doing this. I can't do this. I tried it for 1 week.
Man, let me tell you something. If you want to be in the best shape of your life, go start training to box. Go start training to box. I have never seen anything like what those guys do.
Yeah, it's boxing is and that's another one that's really good for offensive and defensive linemen. Mm-hmm. Training on boxing, striking with your hands, getting that low center of gravity.
Do you know the sport that trains athletes better than anything that I know? Chicken bowling.
Chicken bowling?
Chicken bowling. Have I ever told you guys this story?
No.
Story time on the Viking Nation Live with yours truly, LG. Let me say it in the super smooth, silky voice. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Merry Christmas, everyone. It's story time with LG. Okay, here we go. So I remember when I was a little kid. Now, y'all don't get on to me. Don't call me an Asian redneck. Don't call me a redneck. Don't do anything like that. This is just a true story from my childhood. When I was about 8, 9 years old, something like that, summertime in the backwoods of Berrien County, not much to do, guys. Not much to do. This was before the internet, before cell phones. We had 3 channels in the summertime, and we weren't into soap operas. So my brother and I, we were 2 years apart. I was the oldest. So I was 9, maybe. He was 7. So we weren't very old. So we had, back then, Armand, we had a yard full of chickens. Okay. So in the summertime, thunderstorm would come through and, some lightning, strong winds, that kind of stuff. We had these huge Georgia pines all over our yard, and it would knock down these big, giant pine cones, right? And so after the rain would stop, what my brother and I would do is we would take pine cones and put them on one side of these huge mud puddles that would form in our yard. And so we would put them in the shape of bowling pins, right? So you got that visual on one side of the big pond, right? The mud puddle. So then what we would do is, now this is what would keep you in shape. We would chase down a couple of chickens. We would run around the yard chasing these, kind of like Rocky would do in that movie Rocky, right?
Yeah.
So we would chase these chickens down, huffing and puffing, finally catch one of them. Now here was the trick. We went to the other side of the mud puddle, ran right up to it, and skipped the chicken across the mud puddle. So you have this chicken, you have this visual, right? It crashes down into the pine cone bowling pins. And that was chicken bowling. That's about as redneck as you get, I think, growing up in the backwoods of Berrien County. Now, don't get on to me. I was 9 years old.
Let me say this for the people who are watching. Armand had nothing to do and does not condone chicken bowling. I want you guys to know. So stay out of my inbox.
That's not chicken bowling. That's South Georgia Angry Birds.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. For the people at Peter, I do not condone live action Angry Birds or chicken bowling. I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's live action Angry Birds.
Well, y'all got to cut me some slack. We don't do that anymore, obviously. But anyway, when you're 9 years old and your parents are working during the day, that's the kind of mischief two boys get into when you're 7 and 9 years old. So anyway,
different world back then.
Hey, Casey is right on my side. Casey Harrell says, very creative, Larry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So here's my wish list for Lounge football. Now, I agree with some of the things that you guys said. Instead of just having an identity for the offense, I want an identity for our team, our program. And that is to be a tough, physical team again. We've been missing that the last 2 years. Now, don't get me wrong. We got some tough kids and they practice hard. They do all that stuff. But I think everybody recognizes, something has happened to the physicality. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think you both agree with me. Now, back in the Randy McPherson days, back in the Miller days, there was absolutely no question. When you stepped on that field with Lowndes, you might beat the Vikings, but they're going to beat the heck out of you physically, right? It was going to be one of the most physical games that you played all year long. Now, it kind of reminds me of the Georgia-Alabama game. Georgia, in the Kirby Smart era, has lost to Alabama, 3 times out of 4, something like that.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, something like that. So, but when you ask an Alabama player, and I think I read this article a couple years ago, when you ask an Alabama player who's the toughest team that you ever play, they always say Georgia, because you're going to get beat to death in that game, even if you end up winning that. That's the kind of identity that I want Lowndes to, and it may be there. It just is not evident to people that observe the program. And we don't hear that from other teams very much anymore. So to get back to that physical brand of football, that identity, whether it's offense, defense, I'm hoping it's the entire team, this one tough mindset. 2, I'm going to save this one, that one for last. Let me skip to the next one. 2 is I do want the silver helmets to return. But I would, since this is a Christmas wish list, I want 2 helmets. I want a silver one and I want a crimson one, and just use them at different times during the year. Now, along with that, I'd love to see the return of the silver breeches. Yeah. Not the silver that we have now, just straight silver, right? You remember back in the day, we had some silver breeches with the 2 crimson stripes down the side. That, to me, with a crimson top, silver helmet, silver breech, that was a sharp look. Anyway, so that's my wish. 3rd is an innovative offense. It's cool to have a physical identification. You know you're going to play a very physical team, that kind of stuff. But to be innovative on offense, whether that's running, passing, a combination, that kind of stuff, to have an offensive coordinator mindset that utilizes, I think, properly the talent that we have and not just try to pigeonhole this team in one mold or the other. You guys with me so far?
I'm with you.
Okay.
Come on, preach, preach, preach.
I put a lot of thought into these. So, and the final one is team chemistry. Now, let me explain. When I say that, most people, 99% of the time, would think that I'm just talking about the players, team chemistry. I'm talking about a team as a community team, where it's the community, the administration, the coaching staff, the players, everybody on one page, and we're all rowing in the same direction. That's when I think of team, that's what I'm talking about. So a lot of people, guys, take this one lounge as just a marketing gimmick, right? But I don't think that way. I took it to heart when they rolled out that slogan several years ago. I thought that is the perfect slogan, not just for the school, not just for the school system, but for the school system and the entire community. Because, whether you're talking about academics or athletics, you got to have your community involved, because you're going to need resources. When things go bad, and they will, you got to have an entire community to have your back, right? And I think we have been missing that component for the last 2 years. I don't think it's anybody's fault. It is what it is. We've gone through a lot of traumatic things with our football program and our school system in general over the last 2 years. I think we've lost some of that because of cynicism has set in. I think it can return, but it's going to take a concerted effort by the community, the administration, the coaching staff. Everybody's got to get back on the same page. Y'all agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah, and I want to point to something, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie. Y'all ever seen the movie When the Game Stands Tall?
Say that again.
Probably.
Have you ever seen the movie When the Game Stands Tall?
Oh my gosh, that's a great movie.
Okay. One of the final scenes in that movie is where the kid has a chance to break the state rushing touchdown record. All right. And he elects to take a knee instead of going for the record because it was more about the team.
Was that the movie about De La Salle?
Yes.
Yes.
Coach Bob Laddiser.
That's right. He had a saying all the time that he did not expect a perfect outcome, but he did expect perfect effort.
Yep. 1,000%.
And man, I fell in love with that saying the moment I heard him say it.
Yep.
He was talking to his players, and they were in the middle of actually on the tail end of this fantastic win streak. Chase, what was their win streak they had? Like 50 something games, or 100 something games?
151 games in a row.
151 games in a row. So they were on the tail end of that win streak. And he's talking about to his players in this upcoming season. They're all talking about the streak, that kind of stuff. And so he preaches to him. He says, guys, I don't expect you to have a perfect outcome. That streak's going to end one day. But what I do expect is perfect effort on every single play. If you give me perfect effort, regardless of the outcome, things are going to fall our way more times than not. So fantastic.
Yeah, but you know how they got it. What's funny is, how you get that perfect effort is accountability every week by every player on that team.
That's right.
Yep. You gotta be more accountable.
Yep.
Like that's the one thing I think like nobody wants to be held accountable, right? Everybody talks about it, but they don't even know what it means to be held accountable. And you hold yourself accountable, but you can't be afraid to say, hey man, you loafing. Hey man, where you at? You have to be able to what's the proverb? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about that when you sharpen iron is that it's friction. Friction causes heat. Most people, when they get hot, they get uncomfortable. So you can't be afraid to make somebody uncomfortable for the improvement of your team. And
It's
that just comes in
productive.
challenging.
It's productive conflict.
Yeah.
Right. And it takes a lot of guts to hold someone accountable. Like you said, we can say it. I'm a Sunday school teacher too. And we talk about accountability all the time, especially believers in Christ, to hold each other accountable. But when someone messes up and a fellow believer tries to hold them accountable, you get a lot of resistance, man. You get a lot so it takes a lot of courage to hold someone accountable. But that's what you got to have in a team environment. So when you're in practice, and it's not just a game, but when you're in practice and someone's going 50% or 75%, even if it's a freshman holding a senior accountable, you got to call that player out in practice. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. You're not giving it your best. If you're not giving your best effort in practice, you're probably not going to give your best effort in a game either.
I can remember, I think I was a sophomore, maybe a junior, and I hated the weight room, right? I really did not like lifting weights and like working out. And I remember it was a freshman. He looked at me. We were doing Big Five. He says, "You got one more." And I looked at him like, "What?" He's like, "You got one more. That's 4." I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I did it." But that was just somebody saying, "Hey, we got a standard here.
That's right.
Hold yourself." And so that's just how it was, man. And like I said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to, like you said, have that productive conflict. Hey, I got a question, Larry.
Okay.
So the average football helmet costs about $360, right?
Yeah.
We got about 110 players on our team.
Yeah.
Right. $40,000 is what we'll have to raise. Is that something we could do as the Viking Nation? Hey, you want to see the silver helmets? Let's get the silver helmet fund going.
Woo, that's a big deal right there. That's a big deal. We wouldn't do it as an organization by ourselves because that takes a lot of work to do that. But we can be a part of the Touchdown Club.
Okay.
And their effort, because when it comes to something like this, that's probably an endeavor that the Touchdown Club would undertake. Now, one of the things that, as long as we're talking about the silver helmets, one of the things that I asked Adam Carter when he first got hired, I don't know if you guys watched the show back then, but we had him on the show, and this was, I can't remember if it was before the summer or after the spring, whatever, but I asked him that point blank. Because when new coaches come onto the scene, sometimes they want to make a big splash, right? Some coach like Jamie DuBose, he did it with multiple uniforms. That was his way to make a big splash. I don't know if Zach Grage ever did that or not, but a lot of coaches will roll out a new uniform or a new helmet, whatever. So I asked Adam Carter that what was his big splash. So he was focused on just putting together a good football team. But he said, because I asked him specifically about the helmet, he said that might be something that we look at in year 2. Well, guess what? We're approaching year 2. So I'm hoping that now, is it a coincidence that the graphic they put up for the banquet included a silver helmet that came from the football team? I don't know. So I look at that kind of stuff. So
I'll tell you what I'd like to see too, and don't go wigging out on me.
All right.
I want to see some black with crimson trim uniforms.
Black with like a South Carolina type of deal.
Yeah, but not like that.
So we haven't seen those since Rick Tomberlin. That's the last time we worn those jerseys. Would have been 91.
Yeah.
Rick Tomberlin. And they look good. Don't get me wrong. They look good. They had the crimson pants, the black, and they had the Plowboys in crimson. Looked good, but we didn't play good. I tell you that much. We got
maybe it's time to dust them off and see if maybe that's the spark we need.
Bryce
Well,
Harper
I
has a
got this
career.
email from you since I asked this question last week about what 4 things that you'd wish for. I got this email from a viewer. I'm not going to call them out. I promised I'd keep them anonymous, but I thought this was an interesting take. So, number one is better blocking on the O line. After this past season, I could understand. I could understand that. Okay. Number two, the secondary needs a huge improvement in covering skills and effort. Uh, if you, no, I didn't read this part. If you got back and watched the games, even the highlights, you can see plays where players completely gave up on tackling and pursuing opposing players. Now, I don't know about that part, but his initial point, the secondary needs a huge improvement in covering skills and effort. I think we can all agree on that one, right? I don't exactly know because I've never been a DB. I've been a linebacker. I've been a defensive lineman. Yes, at my size, at Berrien High, I was a defensive lineman. So I understand those two positions, but I never played defensive back. So I don't really know what kind of skills they're taught, that kind of stuff. So Armand, maybe you can help me out there.
So what you see now, like if you watch Georgia, you watch Alabama, you'll see
Go
a
take
lot
a
of
shower,
times
buddy.
where they're in phase, meaning that their back is to the ball and they're just playing off of the receiver's reaction, right?
Okay.
So receiver puts his hands up, he's waiting for the ball to almost get there and knock it out of his hand. That's a lot of the technique that you see being played, as opposed to how it was originally taught is that you run stride for stride with your receiver. When he looks up, you look up, and then you go and attack the ball.
Yeah.
You become the receiver at that point in time. So a lot of times you didn't see that this year, right? Or sometimes when you saw it, the kid was just gave up 6 inches
Okay.
to the opposing player.
It's
But
hard to defend someone that's 6 to 8 inches taller than you are. Even if you're running stride for stride.
Yeah, that part. But also, you got to simplify it. Like I said, a lot of times the players seem like they didn't know what coverage they were in. One guy's playing man, the other's playing zone, or they think I'm supposed to be in zone and he's in man. Like a lot of times you saw a lot of confusion, or at least what looked like confusion. Let me just say it that way. Because I
Gotcha.
don't know if the kids were confused, but they look confused. So that's why I say you simplify things.
Okay.
You have to really overcomplicate it. You could do like, man, look at Iowa, a team like Iowa who has one of the best defenses in the nation, but they don't really have that marquee talent that you would normally see on a defense of that caliber. Um, they're holding teams,
Florida State's that way.
yeah, but they keep everything in front of them. Oh man, that's too soon, too soon. Rex.
that was for you, James. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
All I'm gonna say is Pat McAfee.
You know, and I like Pat too.
I like what he did to Georgia on game day. I thought that was hilarious.
That
Yeah.
was funny. Number three, yeah, there's a lot of Georgia fans that hate back McAfee now. So, number three, bring back the open practices. Alumni being able to visit, helping players, and allow the community coaches to volunteer and help. All right, I can see that. Number four, we have to work on the passing game to the point of forcing a pitch count. That's an interesting concept. We can't shy away from passing or we'll never be great at it. I understand that, especially if you're a Lions fan. Now,
Not to mention,
what does he mean by we have to work on the passing game to the point of forcing a pitch count? What do you think he means by that?
he's talking about how many passing attempts you throw a game.
Oh,
He's
okay.
trying to set a set number instead of saying quarterback goes 12 of 24. He wants to see a quarterback that goes, 20 of 42. He wants to see a set number of passing plays. I don't need a set number of passing plays. If I'm going to put this as if it's me. If I'm designing an offense for Lowndes,
Yeah.
I am going and pulling different schematics and different things that work from every offense I've ever seen, and I am meshing it together to create an off-balance playbook that keeps teams and keeps opposing defenses on their heels and absolutely drives defensive coordinators crazy.
That's the
because
innovation that I'm talking about.
because I can
Yeah.
line up and give you a passing look, but I'm going to run out of it. I can line up, give you a running look, but I'm throwing out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about being unpredictable. You know,
Yep.
like if they don't know what you're doing, if they don't know what's coming, it's a nightmare for defenses.
And
That's
I'll
right.
say this as far as what the guy was talking about defensive coverages and things like that. I'm going to throw this word out there: football IQ.
Okay.
We have got to get these players' football IQs from here to here. It's there's too much of a gap.
You don't think it's there now?
I'm not going to say it's not there. I'm going to say that there's no. I don't know.
Now, some would say, and I think I would agree with them, that some would say the football IQ is there. They just went, when I'm talking about our team, they just went through a lot of trauma over the last 3 seasons.
That's true. That's true.
And when you have to keep adapting to different schemes, then that's going to quote unquote lower the IQ, the football IQ, because they are learning a new system,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So it becomes but that also becomes the terminology as well.
Okay.
So what different offenses, different it's going to be different terminology. Like for us, our base defense out of 4-3 was 30-30 cover 2.
Yeah.
Means that we got a 3 technique and a 0 shape. That's telling you what the defensive line is, and we're playing cover 2. You know, on offense we would have I right, slot left, 32X, meaning that the X is pretty much is a post fade, and we're running something, you know. So that terminology has is different, but
Correct.
a lot of times they're just looking at a wristband, and they're getting those called in from the sideline. So they're looking at a particular coach, and they're looking at, okay, this is my route, this is what I do.
That's right. That's right. All right. So last thing is we got to go because we're cutting these down to an hour for off-season coverage. Wilbur Pelfrey makes this interesting point. He says everyone always criticized Randy for some of his soft schedules, but I heard a lot of the teams didn't want to play his teams because of the physicality, even if they thought they could compete or even win because the price was high because how much they came out bruised and battered. I think Wilbur is right on both of those, but you know, the fact did remain, Wilbur, that you got to concede that Randy did kind of pad his schedule a little bit with some soft teams throughout his tenure here at Lowndes. Although he had some fantastic teams, and they were known as very physical teams. Whether the teams were soft or very good, both of them got punished the same by a very physical Lowndes team.
Now, let me say this as far as the passing game comment that was made by, I don't know whether it was you reading that email or somebody in the comment section, or anything like that. If you don't practice against a passing attack on defense, a good above average passing attack, you're going to struggle against it when you see it in a game type situation.
That's true.
Okay.
That's one of the knocks on the wing tee, right? If you practice against the wing tee all the time, your DBs are going to get conditioned to go against that kind of offense
do that right now.
and not get worked on some of these other more advanced offenses.
But you know what though? But even then though, if you looked at those defenses during the wing tee heyday, they played a cover 3, and they played off, right? They conceded a lot.
They did. A lot of Randy's defenses were that way. You would have DBs that are 10, 12 yards off the ball.
Yeah. But that allowed them to keep everything in front.
Sure.
Because once the field condenses, it's a lot easier to, believe it or not, it's harder to score in the red zone.
It is.
From when you're at the 40 or the 50.
You got an extra safety in the boundary line on the backside of the end zone. I mean, that's
yeah. So you can get all the yards you want from the 30 to the 30, man. But when you get in that short field, things could get condensed, especially if you got big bodies everywhere. It gets really difficult to score sometimes.
And, I want to answer one question that was in the chat about players being verbal, being able to speak with the coaches.
Okay.
That comes with a relationship. So these players have to build a relationship, and vice versa. The coaches have to build a relationship with those with each other, so they trust each other. Because it was nothing for me to pick up the phone when I came off the sideline and I say, "Hey, Coach Cribb, what am I missing?" Or Coach Cribb would say, "Hey," or sometimes even Coach Davis would say, "Hey, Armand, this is what they're doing." He'd pick up the phone and say something. He was the offensive coordinator, so it was nothing for that to happen. But that took time to say, "Hey, this is what I see. This is what I think they're doing," and for them to say, "No, okay, we're going to adjust this way." But that takes time, That's and it has to be that relationship, and that's
Absolutely.
the coach trust the kids coaching trusting the coaches, and the coaches trusting the kids.
Yep.
That takes time, and you can't
Absolutely.
do that if you're changing staffs every 2 years.
I'm gonna give you a saying that we use where I work a lot when we're in sales meetings and things like that.
Chase, hold on.
Is
I'm gonna give you. This is gonna be your final word because we gotta cut it down. Shut it down.
is we tell sales reps all the time, you cannot go ask for a customer to give you a $250 to $500,000 investment if you don't have a $250 to $500,000 relationship with them.
Ooh,
So if you want
man,
these kids,
that's big right there. I
if
love
you
it.
want these kids to perform at a high level, you better have a high level relationship with them. I mean, that's just the plain and simple. And guys, if you want these coaches to put their trust and their faith in you, go have that trust and faith relationship with those coaches.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good comment. Good comment. Great way to end the show. Final thought is football championships next Monday through Wednesday. Congratulations to the teams that are still in this area that are in it. Thomas County Central playing on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Georgia Public Broadcasting Sports. And the Coffee Trojans are going to be playing on Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock, the 5A state championship. Coffee takes on Creekside. And this is Mike Coe's, I believe, second year. It's pretty interesting. Thomas County Central and Coffee County playing for state championships in both coaches' second year in their respective programs. So Cole couldn't join us tonight. Hopefully we'll have him on the program next week. Now, if Thomas County Central wins a state championship, I'm pretty sure Cole's going to be here. If they don't, he's going to find a reason not to be here. I'm just saying.
Hey, Larry, here's an idea. TCC wins the state title. Why don't we get Coach Rogers on?
We have been talking to Cole about getting Coach Rogers on the program. I would love to get Mike Coe on the program. That's actually one of the things, before you guys started helping me with this, one of the things that we used to do in the off season was to start to open the program up to talk about other programs, because I'm a big believer in we can all learn from all other people, right? So I would have other coaches. I think you helped me line up the Georgia Christian coach came
Chuck
on the
Knapp.
program one time.
Yeah,
We're going to get Brad Wells on the program.
Both of those are super excited to come back.
We had Ken Eldridge, Berrien head coach. We had Mike Coe on the program one time. We've had a lot of other coaches, and in the off season, we'll start to open up to other types of content as well. So you guys stick with us. We're going to have a pretty good run during the off season. So last thing is Wilbur Pelfrey says, tell Cole, Coach Carter looking for a game in September, home and home or buyout game. Wilbur, I think that Thomas County Central game is probably going to be a preseason scrimmage, I believe. I think that's probably what it's going to come down to. Anyway, I hope it changes. I would love to see a home and home with TCC, but I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, guys, with that said, you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Armand, you got something?
I got one more thing.
You got to hurry it up.
One more thing. And
I'm getting hungry, man.
It is not football related, but it goes to any aspect in life.
Okay.
You cannot have $1 million prayers and $2 actions.
Say it again.
You cannot have $1 million prayers and $2 actions. And I'm gonna leave. You can figure it out. You can figure that. if you can't figure that out, then I can't help you.
Love it. Love it. So with that said, you guys, hope you have a fantastic Christmas season. You guys have a fantastic weekend. May God bless you. And as always, go Vikings.
Go Vikings.